our last video, we shared the heartbreaking reality of neighborhoods in Swannanoa, where families are living in tents, sheds, and campers struggling to survive in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. What happened next was truly inspiring. Thanks to you, our amazing viewers, this community in Swannanoa now has wagons and other necessities that you personally provided. Your generosity has directly impacted their lives, offering hope in the face of unimaginable challenges. All across western North Carolina, you see RVs and campers parked in driveways, makeshift homes for those rebuilding after Hurricane Helene. The lucky ones have a place to park their camper on land they own or where their home once stood as they rebuild. But what about those who are renting, with no land and no place to put even a temporary shelter over their heads? In today's video, we're visiting Haven on the Hill, a remarkable place of refuge in Haywood County. This camp sits on a quiet pasture generously donated by a farmer named James Lunsford, who offered several acres of his land to help those left homeless by Hurricane Helene. Haven on the Hill is now home to families with nowhere else to turn. Babies, elderly individuals, and even beloved pets have found safety here. With FEMA vouchers beginning to expire, many are being forced out of hotels and temporary shelters with no other options. This camp is expected to grow significantly in the next coming weeks as more displaced people arrived seeking a safe haven to call home. How did this all get started, James?
Some of the church groups and government officials reached out. People were running out of hotel vouchers, sleeping in the street, sleeping in their cars. We started getting them RVs donated and just built it up from there. And now you can see what we built up to. We're up to like 65 RVs and over 100 people. And it just keeps growing and growing, as you can see, coming in both ways all day.
Well, how much more room do you have?
I just opened up a second park. It's out getting the gravel put in it today, because this one's already overflowing, so I opened up a second one.
Okay, is it going to be?
It's right down the street.
Oh,
yeah,
it's right down the
street.
Okay. Awesome.
We'll get her done as quick as we can.
Amazing thing you're doing here.
We're trying. I mean, our main thing now is we're trying to get everything set up, because we're going to be taking care of 100 people through the winter, probably more, because there's more going to. I think I just saw in the news where they're getting their vouchers extended, so it's going to give us a little breathing room. But I don't know how long they'll be extended for.
Right.
So it's just going to keep going, I assume. I don't know how long they got them extended for, but that gave us a little breathing room for the next influx, because we were expecting 800 people out of the hotels by the 25th. But they did extend vouchers, didn't they, till February?
I think they extended them until January the 25th.
Okay, so now we know January 25th is when we expect the next influx.
Yeah.
In this video, we'll take a closer look at the volunteers making all this happen, stories of the people who found shelter here, and the challenges they continue to endure.
Well, I met a man where the road dead ends, had his land on the mountainside. I said, "Are you Farmer James?" He said, "Yep, that's my name." There was a kindness in his eyes. I heard the sound of generators all around. I saw his field full of RVs and tents. There were people displaced by that dang hurricane, trying to start their lives over again.
My name is Adam Pope. I'm a songwriter. I live around Nashville, Tennessee. I've lived over there about 20 years, but I'm originally from North Carolina. And after Helene, I had a song on TikTok called 500 Year Flood. Somebody reached out to me through that song, and it was a Asheville County Commissioner. And I ended up coming over here and playing a vigil about 3 weeks after the hurricane in October. Well, through that I kept meeting more people and just kept on expanding on people who was needing help, people who was impacted by the hurricane. And I drive a truck here that is sponsored by a music venue and a music company called Music Ranch, Montana. We travel up there, my wife and I do, in the summers. And Frank and Karen Smith, some of the kindest people I know, they sponsor that truck, and they encouraged us to use that truck to help people here in the mountains through the winter if we can. And I didn't know if it'd be of any use, but it turns out people need propane run from here to there. They need supplies brought in from, Middle Tennessee. I brought some stuff up here, and I've just found myself as a middleman in the position to try to connect people, trying to help with the people who need help. I did a tour in South Texas with my wife back in December, and we were out of nowhere. People donated over $5,000 for us to carry it to the mountains, and we had no idea what to do with it. And from that experience, I came up here and started roaming around, and on Facebook I found out about this Haven on the Hill right here, this amazing sign which somebody painted on that shed, and all these people in these RVs and stuff. So I met James that day and figured out what to do with some of the money and try to help them out that I had been given to give. Again, I'm a middleman, and that night I went back and I was so emotional over what I saw here with the sound of these generators and this man who just started parking people all over his field out here. I just felt like he's doing the work of the Lord out here, and I thought of him as an Appalachian angel. And so that night I wrote Haven on the Hill in about 20 minutes, and I videoed it and put it out. And I didn't know if I'd ever come back here, but since then I've made friends here and been sent back here with more stuff, people trying to help them. And I'm really blessed to know James Lunsford and have met so many other wonderful folks in this community. And I pray that they can get their feet under them and build a new life after everything they've been through.
Stick around to hear more of Adam's song, Haven on the Hill, a heartfelt ode to a man who made all this possible. Thank you, Adam, to you and your family, for taking time out of your music tour to bring God's love and hope to the people of Western North Carolina. It's volunteers like Adam, James, and the others you'll see throughout this video that keep hope alive for the people of Appalachia. At Haven on the Hill, the hum of generators and rows of campers tell a story of both heartbreak and new beginnings. This isn't just a camp. It's a community where everyone works together to rebuild their lives. This camp isn't a handout, it's a hand up. Every resident here becomes a volunteer working tirelessly to build and sustain this haven. They stand alongside James Lunsford, helping him fulfill what many believe is God's work, providing shelter and hope to those who lost everything the day the waters rose and carried their homes away. So, need a lot more gravel up here. As I spoke with the survivors living here at Haven on the Hill, their heartbreak and sadness were still etched on their faces, a reminder of all they lost. But now, alongside that sorrow, you can see something else. Hope. For the first time since the flood, they have safety, a place to call home, and a community to belong to. This family has just arrived at Haven on the Hill, carrying all they had left in the world. They were just handed the keys to their new camper and welcomed into this growing community with open arms. For them, this isn't just a camper, it's a fresh start, a place to keep their children safe, to find stability and to begin rebuilding the life that was taken from them when the floodwaters rose.
County my whole life. I was born and raised here. I've been through rainstorms. I don't know. I'm from the mountains, you know. You used to get told that mountains beat everything off of us, keep it off of us. And boy, it didn't. I mean, it did, man. We lost everything. Hardest part about it was like, you know, lost the apartment, and I was talking to my landlord, and he told us he's not rebuilding. You know, it hurt him too. He can't do it. He's gonna knock them down, and so, you know, I tried to find another place, and Mountain Projects is overwhelmed. Too many people. There's not enough money to go around, you know. And I try not to get mad, you know, because I believe if I keep my faith in God and I try my best every day, that's all you can do, you know. So, and that's what I did. Every single day, you know. And I got people that help me with Christmas, man. They Haywood Helping Hands, the distribution center, and they used to be next to Walmart, man. A lady helped me with Christmas shopping for my kids, and well, she knows this lady, and she called her, and you know, we finally found another place. We were staying in another camper, but it's been like structurally set on a piece of property, and it just can't keep it warm, and it's moldy from all the rain where it's been raining. Didn't structurally damage it, but it's so moldy you can't sleep in there. My kids were getting sick from staying there, so we had to move, you know. And you know, I'm sitting here thinking we might have to sleep in the car, you know. My mom's on assisted living, and my father's homeless in Asheville already, you know. So, you know, I work a job, a regular job. I just, you know, and I've been having trouble because, you know, by not having a place to stay, it's hard to get up and go to work every day. You know, it's hard. And you worry about your kids being cold, and your wife not having what she needs. And I ain't never had to ask nobody for help. You know, I've always figured it out. So it's all new, but I'm glad there's people out there that, you know, will listen when you say you need help, and they'll talk to you and try to help you, you know. Because Lord knows it wasn't the government that did it. It wasn't none of that. It was your next door neighbor. It was people who really don't got it, but they give it to you anyway, because that's just how we are around here.
This is the car if I have to. Yeah, my name's Chris Baranko. I'm affiliated with the Silva Warehouse. We're about 20 miles west of Haven. This is where we're standing today. We've kind of done a good job of supporting each other, coming through for, like, we're going to be storing a bunch of this stuff in Silva for them. We've stored a bunch of stuff for them. They've been lucky enough to help us out with things we've needed. I'm actually moving a guy from Bryson who was from Asheville and severely affected by the storm, but the Red Cross put him in a pretty crappy trailer. It's from like 1974 and it leaks like a sieve. So we're moving him in right over here into a pretty modern trailer in just a few more hours. James is pretty amazing at getting stuff done. Our network's gotten pretty broad. It happened fast. You know what I mean? So it took James reaching out to the state to get the county involved. So finally they're starting to take notice, if you will. It's been a battle. A lot of the people here, every one of them displaced, but every one of them helping. You know what I mean?
As you look across Haven on the hill, each one of these campers on this old horse pasture is a lifeline for a family left with nothing. These campers are more than just temporary shelters. They're places of refuge and hope. Every family tells the story of survival and the strength it takes to start over. For the people living here, these small spaces represent a chance to rebuild, surrounded by a community that understands their pain and shares in their journey forward. Let me introduce you to Marilyn. Before coming to Haven on the Hill, Marilyn was found surviving frigid temperatures living in a tent under a bridge, with no stability and nowhere to turn after losing her housing after Hurricane Helene. Now she's found safety, community, and a place to start rebuilding her life.
What a wonderful place that Haven on the Hill is. And the neighbors and people out here has been so good and kind to me. The volunteers and all, and James, they really are reaching out. and doing their very best to help people. But as I said, they completely rely on the community of doing donations. Gasoline, especially for the propanes, is at high demand at all times around here, as well as propane, the big tanks as well as the little green ones. I like to listen to my country music instead of sitting here in the silence all the time. And I can't do it either without the electricity by the generator. Been asking somebody to help me with some DD batteries and AA batteries. So if I'm out of gas and we don't have none around here, I can at least not have to be sitting here in the dark in the silence. If I have backup batteries. D batteries.
D batteries
And double A's.
and double A's. At Haven on the Hill, it's not just about providing shelter, it's about building a community. Meet Patty Austin, a dedicated volunteer who works tirelessly to provide hot meals to the residents here. Patty's role goes beyond cooking. She's also teaching valuable skills working with residents to prepare meals together. It's not just about food, it's about creating a sense of normalcy and connection as everyone works together to make this place a true home. Okay, you can see here it's really slick.
So I'm Patty. My husband, Chef Kurt, we have Mighty Fortress Ministries, which is a at-risk youth culinary program ministry where we teach at-risk youth and people that survive natural disasters how to cook. So if, they can go out and get a job and they can go out and, they're not just going to work at McDonald's, which there's nothing wrong with, but he is a 5-star chef. So he tries to teach them his love and his passion and the Word of God through what we do. It is a 501c3 nonprofit that we've had for 3 years. We do have a PayPal, which is Mighty Fortress Youth at PayPal, which is us. My number is 865-296-8805 if you'd like to call us. We're not just only here for this Haven on the Hill, but his goal is to reach other places that can't provide hot food for themselves, prepare it, and take it to them. So that is what we're doing here. And once you get here, you just love these people. And it's just a beautiful kaleidoscope of things. And that's what we're doing here on the hill.
Praise God.
Thank you. Yes, sir. It's all about Jesus.
So all of these are donated
They
campers?
are. All of them are donated. And we were lucky to get them because, like FEMA's got probably 1,000 sitting off of exits and everything else, and they wouldn't let us move anybody in them, so we just get our own and get them donated. I've got them from Oregon to Maine to Canada, California, Arizona, so we just do it ourselves. And the people help. I mean, the people's contributions is what's really keeping it going now, because we're to the stage now. They've got clothes, they've got cleaning supplies. So to keep the long term, just like keeping a normal family up. Food, money to keep the infrastructure going and built. Vehicles. So many of them lost vehicles, and that's really something that the dealerships or nothing else has even helped. Private owners have probably donated a half a dozen to some of the people. Just like they're donating RVs, they're donating vehicles too.
Okay, I know we've been in contact with a guy that's been working on vehicles and getting them together, so we'll make sure we get y'all connected and
Yes, please
get
do.
some more vehicles up
That's
here.
one of the next big needs, that and more RVs.
I know a lot of them got washed away.
Yes. And they went to FEMA, and FEMA said, well, we need proof this vehicle washed away. And the owners are saying, well, it went down the river somewhere. How do I prove that it washed away? It washed down the river, and nobody knows where yet. It's not been recovered out of the water.
Probably buried in mud.
Exactly. And FEMA won't give them their money to buy them another vehicle until they have proof that that old vehicle got washed away. It's backwards. I mean, help the people and then do the paperwork. Because when I started this, I said I'll ask for forgiveness instead of permission. Because if I'd had to ask for permission, I'd have got to start this last week. Now they've already been here over 100 days.
Right.
And then when I asked for the permission, I got it. So I didn't have to ask for forgiveness. We did it ourselves and done. It's about the only way you can do it. But if it wasn't for people helping people, yeah, we wouldn't get anything done.
Just west of Waynesville, way up the mountain, I met an Appalachian angel, cigarette in his hand. He's building God's kingdom right there in his field, helping people find refuge at his haven on the hill. He said, watch out for the mud, yeah, you might get stuck if you don't have a four-wheel drive. If you want to help too, well, there's plenty to do, long as you have the right heart and mind. He said, now don't bring your junk. He looked at me and said, son, they need a hand up and not a hand out. And as you can see, God's been so good to me. He said, I'm just trying to pass it on down. Just west of Waynesville, way up the mountain, I met an Appalachian angel, cigarette between his lips. He's building God's kingdom right there in his field, helping people find refuge at his haven on the hill.
My name's Sean O'Brien. I'm from Asheville, North Carolina, and we got our camper through Operation Rising Sun, which is a charity out of Canton, and yeah, so that's why we're here in Haywood County now, Waynesville. We were in a hotel after the flood, so we got this right before our vouchers would have ran out with FEMA.
Your voucher was about to run out?
Yeah, it would have ran out December 5th, and we got the camper November 22nd. So we've been here for, yeah, like almost 2 months. But we love it here. We've been really blessed, and the community aspect of it has been really good, and we all work together. And yeah, we've been very fortunate.
Awesome. I see you got a youngin' here.
And my 2 little girls.
Wow.
And of course the dog.
The scars this storm left behind run far deeper than broken bridges and washed away homes. For the people who survived it, the trauma is a wound that refuses to heal, a weight carried in every conversation and every uncertain step toward the future. We listen to the voices of those still navigating the aftermath, voices filled with pain and a raw honesty that reminds us the storm is far from over. These are their stories, unfiltered and unforgotten. Proof that even when the floodwaters recede, the emotional toll lingers like a shadow over their lives. Through their words, we witness the human cost of Helene and honor the strength it takes to keep moving forward in the face of so much loss.
Anything out here, because I'm super grateful. Like, I lost everything. My landlord lost everything. Like, our septic tank is gone, and we were trapped on the mountain for like 4 days. To kind of make a long story short, we just happened to get up at like 6:30 that morning. A bunch of trees fell on the property, and my landlord was like, we're at least going to move. So we got in his truck, and just happened to be on the right part of the road, the only part of the road that survived when the landslide came through. Sorry, it's been a long day.
It's okay.
Yeah, so 6:30 that morning we left property. 9:30 that morning, landslide. Everything was gone. Like, everything. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen anything like it but on a movie. So, but Operation Hilo donated my camper. I found James. I'm super grateful to be here. It's, it's all learning curve. We're all learning at the same time. And some days are longer than others, but at least I'm alive.
Amen.
I can't complain about nothing. I don't want to complain. I like to wake up and be happy that I've been blessed. There's people out there that really did. Their house went floating down the road, and I couldn't imagine that, Working 30, 40 years on the same piece of land going home, and then you wake up one day and it's gone.
Yeah.
That's a whole different story, man. That's a whole different heartbreak. It'll be my first day. They just give me the keys, man. I ain't paid $1 bill. They asked me if I needed help, and they give me some help, So that's just, you don't have a lot of that, First day it happened, I couldn't get no baby formula, man. I went to the store, and they couldn't take a card. And I don't know, man, when you on your last can of formula and you can't go just buy some from the store, that's a stressful situation. And it's somebody else that they told me, what do you need? I'll help you. Just somebody. I don't know. I've never been prouder to be from where I am than after this stuff. Because, it just shows you how good most people really are. They sit there and tell you all the bad that's going on in the world, but there's plenty of good people still. Plenty of good things going on.
Do you have a GoFundMe?
No, I don't. Okay. I don't. Yeah. I don't. There's people out there that need it more than me. As long as I got a place for my kids to go and be warm, and when I get off work, I got somewhere to go and eat me a meal and get warm and get up and do it again the next day. That's all I need.
Through Operation Rising Sun out of Canton, another one of the organizations that's been really supportive. They donated all the underpinning for all these trailers, helped winterize. Tommy Miller, he's another one who's been boots on the ground, just like we all have since day one. I haven't gone to work since September 28th, and my town was very mildly affected. And this kind of just wound up being my duty. Been doing it since. A lot of people working hard. Stuff's coming from everywhere. This is Georgia. We've gotten drops at the Silva warehouse from as far as Oklahoma, Texas, Michigan, Ohio, Maryland, Maine. We're one of the few warehouses in Silva. We're Mountain Core Mission is the name of our 501(c). We call ourselves a Silva warehouse. We've got about a 20,000 square foot warehouse, so we can take tractor trailers. So a lot of the stuff that comes in, we're able to deal with, and then we disperse. Either people dispatch drivers to us, or we recruit our own drivers with trucks and trailers. And I'm driving the wheels off. This thing's supposed to be in the shop a couple weeks ago. We're all just driving the shit out of our vehicles. So anyone wants to donate a work truck to any one of these organizations, we can all put it to work. We all need, a Tacoma is a great truck, but I can only do so much with a Tacoma. We need a couple F-250s. We need some real rigs to haul some real gear.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of organizations out of Asheville. So for James right now, I'm trying to square away a couple of 20,000 gallon tanks for water instead of using these 275 gallon food grade tanks. But again, I can't pull that with my Tacoma, Great truck, but not a 3/4 ton truck. You see, now we're moving a trailer, moving a camper out to get one in. Will, another one of our Florida brothers up here helping. He is the chef, equipment operator, and commissary runner here at Haven on the Hill. Ground, you can see, is still frozen. It's supposed to be 9 degrees. The low Monday morning is 9 degrees. So that's why we're having crunch time on getting campers in, getting people out of tents. The guy I'm moving up here, hopefully tomorrow or the next day out of Bryson, Tim, he's in a hot tent that we put him in because he was in a Walmart tent before that. So at least, I'm not going to say it's ideal, but at least he's got a wood stove. You know what I mean? So It's dry heat. He's got CLPD. The trailer that the Red Cross had him in was just a mold infested, it's full of water, sagging roof.
The good always outweighs the bad in my mind, so there's plenty of people that are doing good. I know this is just Mr. James's front yard, man. I'm pretty sure this is just his front yard.
It was.
And that, I mean, you know, that's to just say I don't care and let them go is, there's not a lot of people that would do that, and it wouldn't matter, you know.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, all of this is gonna come back to him, man. When it's all said and done, Mr. James is gonna have a special place for all the people he's helped in my mind. I don't even know him. I spoke to him twice, but you willing to help me and my babies out? That's all I care about, man. We try hard, man.
When our government systems falter, we are left to rely on the strength and compassion of one another. It is in these moments of shared humanity that we find hope. The kind of hope embodied by James Lunsford and countless others who have stepped up to do God's work in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. If you want to join this effort and make a direct impact, links to donate are in the description below. Every contribution, no matter the size, helps bring warmth, shelter, and hope to families still struggling in the wake of Hurricane Helene. Thank you for standing with us and being part of Appalachia's journey to recovery.
Well, I met a man where the road dead ends, had his land on the mountainside. I said, "Are you Farmer James?" He said, "Yep, that's my name." There was a kindness in his eyes. I heard the sound of generators all around. I saw his field full of RVs and tents. There were people displaced by that dang hurricane, trying to start their lives over again. Just west of Waynesville, way up the mountain, I met an Appalachian angel, cigarette in his hand. He's building God's kingdom right there in his field, helping people find refuge at his haven on the hill. He said, "Watch out for the mud, yeah, you might get stuck if you don't have a four-wheel drive. If you want to help too, well, there's plenty to do, long as you have the right heart and mind." He said, "Now don't bring your junk." He looked at me and said, "Son, they need a hand up and not a hand out. And as you can see, God's been so good to me." He said, "I'm just trying to pass it on down." Just west of Waynesville, way up the mountain, I met an Appalachian angel, cigarette between his lips. He's building God's kingdom right there in his field, helping people find refuge at his haven on the hill. Yeah, there's rest for the weary in Farmer James field. God bless those who made it to haven on the hill. God bless Farmer James.